Hey, what's up, Local 100? This is train operator Lizaraga with Transit Workers for a Fighting Union. And I'm here live and direct. You can see right behind me here, this is a Javits Center. And the TWU Local 100 mass meeting has just concluded right now. And so I wanted to ask, my fellow train operator here, just a couple of questions. How do you feel coming out of this meeting, man? Be honest.
I feel worried. I feel like we're in trouble. I feel that there was a lot of talk today about fighting for a good contract, but I didn't leave with a lot of confidence that there was a real plan as to how to fight for a good contract. Look, we're just humble Local 100 members, but we have a few ideas. We have a 4-point main table, I guess, for the upcoming contract. First one is that we think we need a 3-year contract with each year having a $5 increase for all titles. Second point is no give backs in this contract, not at all. Third point is to stop the MTA's abusive management. That's an issue that's been a forever issue for us. We think that should be reflected in the new contract. And the fourth and final point, which is to restore the traditional Medicare option for our retired transit worker members.
We were slandered as being the crazy uncles, the
Yeah.
crazy uncles that you try to avoid at Thanksgiving dinner and whatnot. Well,
yeah, the mass membership meeting began with the union's lead attorney reading the bylaws to us.
Yeah, Dennis Engel.
Dennis Engel saying that no disruptions will be permitted. So that was directed at us and others like us who actually care and want to do something about this contract. So I raise this because it really kind of paints a picture as to what it's going to take to actually win a good contract. And what it proved to me is that one of the big obstacles that's going to get in our way of getting what we need is our very own union leadership.
I mean, I was very, very dismayed at, in general, how this whole essentially charade was organized, because one of the things that stood out to me in particular was how it was presented divorced from everything that's going on in this country at this time right now. Just after the Pledge of Allegiance was happening, I get this notification on my phone that another person was killed by the feds in Minneapolis. And it's very clear that the U.S. government is waging a war on the American people, on the working class, on immigrants, on the whole of the American people, shredding of civil liberties and whatnot. And it's as if our union leadership has their it's worse than them having their head in the sand. It's they're complicit. They're complicit in keeping the working class tied down, keeping the power that we collectively have completely squandered on a couple of cents for a contract. That needs to change. Bottom line, we deserve so much more, and we need to defend ourselves. Straight up, we in the TWU Local 100 actually have that power to wage it on behalf of our own defense, and not only us, but the entire poor in the city, to really fight to get what we need. And so that lack of context was just frankly insulting to me. And it was very cold today. I just want to say this. Transit workers are going to be out in the snow and in the ice and all that. Please be careful. And you know what? Fuck ice.
Yeah, i.e. they didn't have microphones for the membership at our own meeting today. And you shut down people who actually have something to contribute. It was kind of it was a very stage managed event. They all just kind of slap each other on the back for doing such a good job. When how many of them are actually elected to their posts? I think maybe Trammell.
Chiarello sure ain't.
Yeah.
Everybody has a sense down here, especially in RTO, and I think to a certain degree in buses as well, is that 2 Broadway and the whole disciplinary system is out of control completely. And things like this, with Andy Valentine's case, is very, very much indicative. It's just a concrete example of the injustices that are met out daily every time you go down to 2 Broadway, it's like a hallway of misery down there where people are just, you know, going in there, getting your 20 days in the street, who knows what. But the bottom line is like the pushback from the union is almost non-existent. It really goes to make, you know, a lot of the defense, they tend to couch, like, you know, when I was having discussions with some of like some of the honchos over here about Valentine's case, there was a lot of defense about like the legal machinery, about arbitration and whatnot. But their adherence to this arbitration system really goes against what a union is about. Our unions should be about defending the workers. That's it. That's the bottom line.
It's the case that we made is that a $15 increase over a 3-year contract for all titles, it's what we need to survive in New York City. It'll help offset, what was it, the 30% increased cost of living since 2020. I think that's kind of a modest number. And it'll also set us up so that we actually can survive in the city and not have to work tons of overtime, grind ourselves to dust to make rent. So I think that was universally well received.
Workers, we're part of a coalition right now. We're in a united front with other like-minded individuals who are for these 4 demands that were outlined earlier by Richard. And we really need to take the fight to the membership. We need to bring as much pressure to bear and to basically set the stage for a new leadership in this union, which is sorely needed. Because as it stands right now, if I were to read the tea leaves, Samuelson not being in this video that they presented the membership, I think Chiarello's job down here is basically to put forward a sellout contract, to push it through. That's his job. He wasn't elected. That's kind of been the general trend in Local 100's recent history. And so that's gotta change, but we gotta fight. That's the bottom line. People may say we're the crazy uncles, but you know what? We're just gonna keep losing if we keep going with the sane ones, you know?
What's the coalition? What's the coalition called?
It's Transport Workers for a Just Contract.
Uh-huh.
And we are actually on the bottom of this leaflet right here. It has all the various groups involved.
We have a future meeting, right?
Yes, we have a future meeting, which is going to be on, let's see, it's on the back of the leaflet, not this one.
Saturday the 7th.
Saturday the 7th?
At noon.
We'll dig out the...
Cut.
Yeah, cut.
We'll edit.